Today we are back with another Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega breakdown of the format, and this is post Albaz Strike. I was going to do this earlier in the week, but so much was coming out. YCS Mexico was going on, and covering that, along with many leaks and all. So let's get right into it, and this time the meta has changed, but the first thing we're going to be taking a look at are going to be the decks and all the stats from last time, and I'm going to be comparing it to today. For the month of May, we actually have a lot different from what April was. This is April, which had Flundry, Sword Soul, Virtual World, DDD, and Prank Kids all at the top, along with other decks like Sky Striker, Hero, Dragon Link, and Phantom Knights. But this really changes post Albaz Strike, as we could see what happens, because we now have a huge shift. And this huge shift is more so towards things like Flundries, Sword Soul still being at the top, but we have Branded, Despia, and Sky Striker moving up, while Virtual World, Prank Kid, and DDD all moving down. Overall, this is a big shift for the meta, because we've seen a lot of Despia being played because of the new structure deck, and it feels like it is going to be one of the decks to beat, or is the deck to beat this format, because there's going to be so much representation than other decks. Now for Omega, this is definitely interesting because we really haven't seen a new competitive deck instantly slice in since Sword Soul, so it's been quite a while since a new deck has taken the top 3. But I wonder what you guys think about the whole Branded Despia deck being entered into the meta. But let's see what the staples now look like with the extra deck and main deck. Now, when I'm looking at the main deck staples, I really only take the top 10 because there's so many staples on the whole list, and this seems like a good amount to really look at, because we still have things like Ash Blossom, Lancia, Call by the Grave, and Feather Duster all at the top from the month of April, but then we also go into things like the optional picks of Imperm, Nibiru, Cosmic Cyclone, and Ghost Ogre. But overall, I don't really think this changed that much. Heading into May, as we can see, we have your Ash Blossom, Call by the Grave, and Imperm all at the top 3 slots, along with Feather Duster and Nibiru shifting places. Lancia dropped out quite a bit, but it's still a very powerful card. Now, the rest of the pie chart is the same up until you get to Foolish Burial being the last slot. Now, Foolish Burial being the last slot of all this is definitely interesting, because it's going to be seen more and more as time goes on, because you have Adventure Package, and also this card is being carried by decks like your Branded Despia or your Adventure Pile decks, because people are thinking it's just another copy of your Aquamancer, which is very strong, but I don't really see it going anywhere. So we'll have to see on that, and let's get into all the extra deck, because that really didn't change. The reason why the extra deck really hasn't changed, this was back in April, and as we can see, it is very common of what there is. You have Excess Kotaker, Divine Arsenal, A, Zeus, and Verte with DPE and all and everything. But really, I definitely think that kind of changed with the top picks. As we could see, the top picks are now Verte is right on top because of Branded Despia and people running the branded engine in almost anything that they can find. Now, this is very powerful because the reason it's more so giving you access to things like Destroy Phoenix, Enforcer, Mirror Jade, and just so much. Now, in the lower parts of the pie chart, Intis and Barone did swap, so there's that. But in my opinion, the extra deck staples feel like that all of them are there, and they're just going to stay there until the next meta shift, which I hope the ban list comes soon, because that will make these whole entire pie charts shift so much, because people are going to be testing so much of the new ban list and so much more. And with that, honestly, it's just a waiting game now. Since we're heading into Dimension Force season, we are expected a ban list coming soon. And finally, we have the win-loss percentage from last format being more combo and control heavy, and mid-range is lower, but win percentage was a bit higher than what it usually is. Now for this is one thing that always changes, because you don't know what type of decks are going to be in the meta, but this time it actually changed not that much. It didn't really change drastically, honestly, but with the change, we also got to see more mid-range. As we can see, win percentage, loss percentage are getting closer, and for the combo and control mid-range has taken over control because Despia is now a deck. It has been added to the format. That's where most of the mid-range is coming from, because of Despia itself. It is more of a mid-range deck than anything because of what it does. It's not a control deck because it doesn't stun your opponent. It's not a combo deck because it's just a very short line and doesn't take more than about 5 minutes or even less. But combo's still up there. Mid-range is definitely taken over, and control's taking a backseat because of Despia and many other decks that there are. Now, the beatdown is still at 0 on Omega for the top decks, but I feel like that's fine. Beatdown is one of those things, one of those strategies that really comes and goes depending on the format. But overall, I am very surprised of how this format has shaped up. Post Albaz Strike definitely changed the meta for the better, and I feel like it has made the meta overall healthier because it stops your opponent from doing certain interactions, and I feel like there's more of an influx of hand traps now than there was before it, because I used to see 12, 15, now I'm seeing about 18, 20 hand traps in a lot of lists. Now, I wonder what you guys think about this format. Do you like it? Do you want it to change? Or are you fine with how things are? But anyways, I've been Bolt Spider. If you guys did enjoy this insight of the Omega ladder, hit that like button down below. You can download YGO Omega from their Discord. And I hope you all did enjoy. But anyways, I've been Bolt Spider. See you guys in the next video. I upload at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But anyways, goodbye.